I know a lot of people talk about me dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, and how that came to be, And this is a very unique, nuanced thing that happened. Bottom line is, I'm not the type of person to scheme on a person. I'm not the type of person to even date somebody that like one of my homies has dated, you know. But I did choose love, and that's what this story is.
Yo, what's good? It's your guy Ed Flossy, letting you know what's up on what's going down. Go ahead and hit that like button for your boy. Yo, so I'm actually glad I came across this in my news feed. It shed a little light on a topic that always left a sour taste in my mouth. You feel me? Now, if you are a watcher of SNL, you know Kenan Thompson, very talented brother. He been on the cast for years, man. He been doing his thing. I was always a fan of his work since Kenan and Kel. You know what I mean? You know I'm a '90s kid, man. All that funny dude, man. So it was always good to see him flourish on SNL. And then I seen another black dude, right? I was like, who's this dude, man? He's funny too. The brother Chris Red. I was like, okay, they make a good team, man. They had a couple skits that had me cracking up. I was like, oh, these dudes, I like them together. You feel me? But then I seen an article some years back. It said Kenan Thompson's ex-wife dating comedian's former SNL co-star Chris Red. I said, nah, son, ain't no way. This got to be a rumor. But apparently, it wasn't a rumor. He was really up in his friend's ex-wife gushy walls, man. And let me tell you something. I hate hearing that kind of stuff. I think there's a code. If that's really a man's, ex-wives off limits. Baby mamas off limits. All the woman in the world. Why it gotta be her toes that end up in your mouth? Your man's ex-wife. Dirty work. So hearing this, I couldn't see it other than grimy. And apparently, I wasn't alone. This was the majority of how people viewed it. And he finally came out to tell his side of the story.
What's going on, y'all? I'm not really one for resolutions or nothing like that, but I do have one that I'm gonna be leading with a lot more vulnerability and openness in my work, in my life, whether it's here on the internet, all my platforms and shit, or if it's on that stage. And in order to do that, I gotta really do that. So I wanted to address something that's kind of this, I guess, been around for a long time, about 4 or 5 years now, and but I've never addressed it. I know a lot of people talk about me dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, and how that came to be, and I'm gonna just tell it to you straight, man. It wasn't no plan. I saw everything that everybody said. Every single thing that everybody said, I saw it, you know. And bottom line is, I'm not the type of person to scheme on a person. I'm not the type of person to even date somebody that like one of my homies has dated. This is a very unique, nuanced thing that happened. We were all cool. There was not, I was never like hitting on, it was never nothing crazy until it got crazy, Bottom line is, while I was at the show, I had some pill issues, I had some pill problems. Nothing too crazy, but crazy for my black ass. And, I was even selling some to the people, so some of my castmates. I'm not gonna snitch on y'all, motherfuckers, man. But it was really funny to me that like I would be around it. People would talk shit about it and talk shit about me, and I would hear them because some of that Adderall got you and super hearing and shit, but wouldn't like help me. I would have panic attacks, wouldn't like be concerned about me and nothing, just would talk. And it was crazy how somebody would watch you destroy yourself. This lady was the only one to call me on my shit, help me with my shit. She helped me with my therapy journey, and she told me things about her life that made me look at a lot of people involved in it differently, and in that time we fell in love, man. And
Whew, I don't wish this on nobody, man. And I'm talking about from Kenan's perspective. He had children with this woman. and he has to witness her being involved with one of his friends. So whenever he picks up his kids, he gotta see this dude walk around the house in his socks. If he's not already fully over it, that can be mental torture.
And I felt bad from the start. It's always felt like an emotional double-edged sword for me because I really love everything me and Kenan did, bro. I really appreciated every piece of work that we put together. I think that we were a great team, and I hate doing something to somebody that I know would hurt them. No matter who they are, no matter what they've done, that's just not how I'm built. Like I'm not built like that. I don't feel player for this shit at all. But I did choose love, and that's what this story is.
Now, based off what I'm hearing so far, I can't say this man's spirit is pure evil and he's just an evil, terrible person, right? It sounds like he was in a vulnerable place. His self-esteem might have been low, and he gravitated to a woman that seemed to be putting out a helping hand and consoling him. And it doesn't hurt that she's an attractive woman, but this does not excuse the act, if you ask me. I think it's still foul. If you spill coffee on the carpet, whether you had malicious intent or not, there's still a stain. Now for her, I think she knew what she was doing. Women can be very calculated, but something about a wounded man and caring for him and tending to him, nursing him back to health, attracts some women.
And it made me look terrible. It made me look terrible to people that I love, and a lot of my fans. So I didn't know how to do this without doing this. I'm in therapy, nigga. So like, ever since I figured out that I'm more sad than angry, all my anger issues have turned into tears, nigga. Like, it's crazy, bro. But to all the fans I disappointed, you know what I mean? Like, just know this was not something. I don't feel like a pimp. I don't feel cool about this at all. Besides the fact that I found someone that makes me feel like I didn't even know what love was for real. And I just felt like I couldn't miss out on it. And love is not sensical. And me and him talked about it. And I'm not going to say, and we were cool and we continued to work for a year after we talked about it, and I remember it specifically being said, you know what, let's just keep this shit under wraps. And as soon as everybody found out, shit changed. But look, listen, this is the type of thing that, and you can have a conversation with a nigga about that shit, but she can switch on a dime. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is so serious. And now that I'm in that kind of love, I understand, I understand it completely. I felt like there's probably, outside of not doing this at all, there's different ways I could have went about this shit, but I was in love and I was, and I was spiraling out, bro. And that's what happened. And then by the time everybody found out and the world found out, I was out of there from SNL, And so when I got punched in the face, which we will have jokes about that for sure at the show. Most people who know me from back home would know that, I would be retaliating in a heartbeat, but not this time, bro. This time it felt like fair enough. Anyway, this wasn't meant for laughs. It's just meant for me to just put some narrative on something that a lot of folks is already talking about, but won't bring it up to me at all. I'm sorry for the people I disappointed with this. Just know it wasn't to be a dick. It felt like a love I couldn't miss out on, and I had to shoot for it.
So, not too much left after that, but he seems like he is very, very head over heels in love. And let me tell you why I think that's kind of dangerous in his position. Because he fell in love with this woman from a broken place, right? He seems to be very fragile. I wouldn't be surprised if he's more in love with her than she is with him. I'm kind of concerned of how he would react if she would one day say, this is not going to work, and he gets his heart broken. He's not going to know how to take it. Because not only is he so goo gaga and, very vulnerable, but also he made himself look bad in front of the world, for her, because he said he didn't want to miss out on that love. So if she pulls something on him like she pulled on Kenan, which is possible, if she did it to him, she could do it to you. But that would be a double whammy. You think he in therapy now? Woo! That's gonna be painful. And I ain't no fortune teller, I ain't no genie, you feel me? I can't tell the future. But I've seen relationships start in messy ways like cheating and other morally compromised situations, man. And I rarely hear them being happily ever after. But let me know what y'all think about this. Always love reading your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a beautiful day. Till next time, baby, I'm out.